Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of WhimsyCraft. This is episode 27 and right behind me is that shop that we worked on in the last episode, the candle shop. Well, we're going to finish that up and we're going to get this place looking a lot better than it is now, that's for sure. We've got to get the road put in here, we've got to connect up there, and well, we've got to finish all the flowers that are in here. Like, these flower beds are pretty empty, so we're going to do that. I've got all the stuff here to try and finish all this up. Hopefully I have enough. Now once we get the road put in right here, we're going to have to also do the forest around the edges on this side, back, and on the other side as well. And then I'll kind of blend it in on this area here, kind of leading from this shopping area to that area there. I don't want the forest to bump all the way up next to this. I want there to be a little bit of a gap here. So we'll kind of blend it out, and I think it'll look fine. Now, I had also thought about putting a bridge in right here, heading over to the leather shop, but I think what we're going to do, well, we're going to hold off on that. I'm not sure if I actually want to put a bridge there, looking at the kind of the landscape, and maybe I do, maybe I don't. We're going to hold off for another episode, because we have a ton of other stuff to do in this episode, and well, it's a lot of big stuff. Not this one though. This one isn't too bad. This is going to be a small little project. I think I can get this done in maybe about an hour. Now we're not going to be able to actually stock the shop yet because we're still kind of working on that deal with trying to get all the dyes and everything to make the candles. Now hopefully by the next episode we'll definitely be up and running, and maybe we'll make some profit from this too, because I have been seeing some interesting things lately about candles and everybody getting the hype up. And I know we're not going to be updated to that yet, but you know, everybody's talking about candles, so now's the time to make the profit, right? While it's on their mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hop into getting all this done. I'll come right back with you in just a moment. And then this area will be finished and looking more like it's part of the shopping district and not, well, just something stuck off to the side. There's a squid dancing over there. Dance, little squid, dance. Alright, well, while he does his little dance, let's go ahead and get started. And there we go, just like that, this one is done. I think with this we were really able to kind of get that foresty kind of feel without it being too much, right? I didn't want it to feel like you were deep in a forest, just kind of like a forest path as you were kind of walking through, leading up here to the candle shop. Now thankfully I did have enough flowers to do all the flower beds that we needed here, and it did take quite a bit, but we had a few left over, so that's pretty good, but definitely not enough to make any of the candles that we need. Now of course I've got all this lit up through the path and around the forest as well, so that we don't have to worry about any mobs while we're walking around in the shopping district, because well, that would be bad. Oh, hey guys, what are y'all doing here? Ow, 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 ow. Now we'll do a little flyover of the area and kind of look at it from above, and really from above is what I love the most. I mean, just seeing all that pattern work, all the flowers. Some pillagers showed up, can you tell? Oh, them guys are always fighting. They're everywhere, and they just drive me crazy. Anyway, so now that the flower shop is pretty much done, and all we've got to do is stock it later, we've got to go take care of a few other things that we need to set up for this big project that we got going on. So I'm going to fly on over to the base, and I'll meet you over there and show you something that I've kind of been working on off to the side. Welcome back to somewhere underneath my base. So if any of you know, right around here is kind of where I've got this farm here, and then this was where I had the skeleton farm, where I found like a skeleton spawner, but it was only like 3 blocks or 4 blocks above bedrock. Well, I've converted that into this. I've rerouted the skeletons. They kind of go up and over, and then they fall here now. And this is pretty much my official sculk vein farm that I'm going to be spending a lot of time down here trying to get, because we need a lot of this for our project that we've got going on. So what we're going to be starting today is we're going to be working on the nether. We're going to be fixing up the nether hub. We're going to be expanding on it. I've been working on it for the past couple weeks, trying to come up with the design for it, and I've come up with something pretty good. It's nothing super special, like it's not super detailed or anything, but I think it does look really well. So whenever these guys fall, they activate. There's catalyst down there. It's a sculk catalyst. I've got one there, and then I've got another one over here in this corner. And basically, just every time they do that, the sculk vein grows. So I've got obsidian encaging this whole area, and I kind of want to expand it out a little bit, maybe on the ceilings and the floors a little bit further out. And that way I can kind of get a little bit more of this. Right now I'm just kind of getting this little area around here, but I would like to get all the way out to here. But I've got plenty of this ahead in my future, so I've got plenty of time to expand it out. Now every now and then one of these guys does slip through, so this is not an AFK-able farm really. This is definitely, you need to be here and make sure you know what you're doing. But basically everything's going to come down into these hoppers and then flow into here, and then once that's full I just pop it into this chest over here, and then it fills up my shulkers. Now there's a lot of materials that we're going to need for this build, and this is definitely one of them, but we also need a lot of something else. A lot of copper. A whole lot of copper. And this really isn't even nowhere near what we really need, but it's a good start. Now I do have a whole bunch that's already oxidized in a couple shulkers in the nether, but this is kind of where I'm going to be living at while I'm at work every day, and just AFK here and let all of this oxidize. Now I know that, and you're probably screaming at the TV or the phone or whatever you're watching right now, separate them 4 blocks and they'll oxidize faster. I get that. I'm just going to AFK here, and I'm going to do it every couple days, so it doesn't really matter to me because I just need a lot. And honestly, the amount that I need would take up like this whole area, so I'm not trying to do all that. So while I'm at work each day, I'm just going to live in here. But now that we've got all this set up, let's head on over to the nether and start setting up some stuff there to get us ready to start building this nether hub. Now here we are in the nether, and to make room for what we're going to be building for the nether hub, this structure right behind me has to go. Now this was the link between me and YMG's bases, and it was like a little quick link, but it's gotta go. Now I have talked to YMG about this ahead of time, and seeing how our bases are so close together and they're pretty much connected anyway, this is pretty much obsolete now that we're in kind of in-game situation. So I'm gonna go ahead and tear this down, and I'll see you in just a moment. Alright, and this is the last couple of the pieces for this, and then we've got a clear area like that. That looks a lot better. I was pretty much able to put, whoa, overshot that. I was pretty much able to get everything in this shulker box here that was that whole structure, which that's pretty crazy. So now that we've got this area cleared out, all we're left with is a bunch of portals everywhere. Like if you just look, there are so many portals out in the distance, like everywhere. I mean, there's a lot of portals. There's like some way back. Look at that one way back there. So I think for today, what we're going to try to do up here in the nether hub is just get the floor laid down, because that's still a lot. And then that way at least we'll be connected everybody's portals with at least a floor. We'll have like a pathway. So what I need to do is I need to gather a few materials, which I've already got here. I've got a whole bunch laid out here, so like black wool. I was talking about the copper earlier, so I've got some copper here. Nowhere near enough, but I mean it's a good start. But yeah, so I've got a bunch of materials here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and start laying this floor down, and that way we can kind of see the exact layout of the nether hub and see exactly how big it's going to be, because it's not huge, but it's not small either. So I hope all y'all are ready, because we're going to go ahead and jump into this build, and well, this is going to be a long project, so get ready for a couple episodes of this. Well, that's the floor done, and as you can see, it's definitely going to be quite a big project. Like, not super huge, but it's going to take a while. But at least everybody now has like a path that they can follow, and they kind of know what the layout is going to be so they can expect it as I build it. Because everybody's got their own little area that I've kind of designated. Like, over here will be Ailey. Actually, let me just pop over here, and I'll kind of show you real quick. Boop. Okay, so I've left this one open because we might need access to these outer portals here. So I've left some space for expandability. Over here on this side, once again, expandability, right? Like, I don't want to have to tear this thing down once we've already built it and then expand on it. So I've kind of left that into the design. Now, as we move up a little bit, this will be the entrance for scan, which also leads to a few other portals and kind of loops around. And I did that because, well, it's a pretty tight little area here. And it was kind of weird having these two just run side by side like this with just this little gap without making them connect. Now, this one right here will lead to Ray's base. So this will be Ray's whole area here. That's Scan's little area there. And it'll make sense once we get it all built up. It is a bit of a different design than the main hub, just because I wanted it separated when you come out. But it does follow the same color pattern and everything. So over here, we're going to have the entrance to Gil's portal. Now, again, I left this kind of like a weird long area. And that's just because if I wanted to, I could kind of knock this one wall out and go to that portal. And I don't know why, but for some reason, I've got something up here that we've got spawning. And that's... Oh, I gotta run real quick. Hold on. Man, that guy is angry, isn't he? Okay. Hey, dude. Now, the next one up over here is going to be Ailey. So this will be her little area here. And then I've kind of connected Hobbit H.Q, YMG, and Scan's Temple all in one little area. And then, like, my base is over there as well. On one side, let me get... I want to figure out where these guys are spawning at. Because apparently I've got a block spawn. It's probably something like this. I'm sure it's something stupid that I've left here somewhere. I'm getting sidetracked, you guys. I keep seeing spawns everywhere, and that's not cool because we definitely don't want that up here. Got to get that sorted out. Yeah, I hear a gas. As long as I don't see a gas spawn, we're going to be okay. Alright, let's go over this one first, because I think this is going to be the one that's kind of used the most throughout the server. So we've got a couple key points here. This one right here will lead us all the way down to the Nether itself. So, I mean, anybody accessing the Nether is going to be coming through here a lot. This one right here, honestly, I don't remember where this takes me. One moment, let's see. Oh yeah, this is YMG's town. Okay, yeah, so that portal is to the Yumga town. So I'm going to start calling it the Yunga town. So yeah, this leads there. This portal, or this area over here, leads down into the actual Nether. And then all the way down here, this is kind of the newbies area. So this will lead to their base. I don't know how much they've shown yet, so I'm not going to spoil anything. But then we'll kind of jump back up to the front here. Now this one right here is kind of going to be like the Hobbit hallway. It leads to my base right there. And then around the corner is YMG's base inside that thing there. And then over here is Scan's temple. So that's that little jungle temple that... I think it's inverted Scan actually, that's his temple. So, yeah. That's pretty much where we're at with the portals. Now here's the thing. This little area right here. This has to lead to Hobbit H.Q, right? Like this, that's YMG's area right here. My area, the temple. And then this is supposed to lead us out here to Hobbit H.Q. Now we do have two portals here for Hobbit H.Q. The one in the back is pretty much, I think, going to be obsolete because that leads us out to the back of Hobbit H.Q. That was kind of when we were first deciding where Hobbit H.Q is going to be and everything like that. But this one is the Hobbit H.Q. portal. But, well, there's a problem with the Hobbit H.Q. portal. And the problem is, it leads us inside Hobbit H.Q., but not inside Hobbit H.Q., as you can see. And for user experience, this is not a very good user experience. So we have to fix that. And the way to fix it, of course, one problem in Minecraft always leads to another, which always leads to another, which, oh my goodness, it's dark. That's another problem. Okay. Let's sleep real quick, and then we will discuss the problem that we have to fix the problem. Does that make sense? Oh my goodness. One moment. Alright, now that it's safe out here, and there's nobody going to try to take us out, the problem is we need to bring the portal out here. That would be the most sensible thing, right? Just move the portal, and then just have it relocate out here somewhere. Well, here's the problem with that. I don't know exactly what kind of design I want to do for this area. I know the general idea, but I'm just not ready to put that down yet. Also, I don't know how this path is going to connect into Hobbit HQ. I don't know exactly where the bridge is going to come in. Oh no, I'm out of rockets. So anyway, we've got to kind of work this path here, and this is a pretty big path. It's gonna lead all the way from Hobbit HQ to my base, and I'm hoping I can make it to my base and get to my ender chest, because I don't have one on me. So basically that means we need to take a path from this bridge right here all the way down into here, come around here somewhere, and then go up into Hobbit HQ. That's a lot of trees. That's a whole lot of trees, but I've got an axe for it, and I think we can do it. And I have started a little bit down here. If we take a look, there's this little path right here that I felt like I honestly, one day I was like, yeah, I'm going to cut some trees down. And I cut these down and I thought I did a dent, but honestly I did not. But there's a lot of terrain issues in here that's going to have to be taken care of, as you can see there. And then hopping over here, it's not a pleasant walk right now. And we're going to have to fix that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a whole bunch of blocks and I'm going to pillar up in a bunch of places through here first, and then kind of get the overall idea of where this path is going to go through this forest. And then we can just go ahead and start cutting it out and shaping it out. Well, I've got a whole bunch of dirt here, so let's go ahead and I'm going to start pillaring up and try to figure out exactly where this path is going to be. Why am I always working in the rain? And there we go, we have one kind of etched out path. As you can see, it starts here at my base, and then it comes down this way and kind of loops around and then comes to this water edge. That's kind of important. That's like a key point for seeing Hobbit HQ. And then it comes on over this way, and then a little bit more this way, and then here to Hobbit HQ. So there's our path. And of course it's raining, and I don't have a bed. One moment while I take care of this. Okay, that's better. So as you can see, the path kind of comes down here, it kind of loops around here a little bit, and then comes here. And then this was the spot that I was talking about. It's kind of important to the path. Now, when you're in this forest, the whole time that you're coming up to Hobbit HQ, I don't really want you to see Hobbit HQ. So when I build this path, I've got to forcefully make sure that Hobbit HQ is never in view, really. Which won't be too bad once you're down here. But then once you get right here, this is the first time that I really want Hobbit HQ to come into focus as you're walking down the path. And I want it to be kind of like a reveal, you know, kind of something like that. Where it looks really good when you're coming out of the forest. You know, you've been deep in the forest, it's kind of dark, and then all of a sudden it just brightens up, and there's Hobbit HQ. But then to get to Hobbit HQ, you realize it's still pretty far. So you've still got to go quite a bit in here. So once you get in here, I want to make sure Hobbit HQ stays blocked. Really, all I'm doing in this situation is just controlling when I want you to see the main object of the path, you know? Like, this is the whole reason of the path, is to get to Hobbit HQ. And what I do is I just kind of control when you see it and when you don't. And I think that not only gives like a really good detail as to like the design of the area, but it also gives like a little bit more of a storytelling aspect. I mean, it's like you're a traveler and you're approaching the castle, you know, that kind of thing. So now that we've got all of these things marked out, well, I guess there's only one thing to do, and that's to sharpen my skills as a woodcutter. So I'm going to clear all of this out, and I will see you when I get back. I might not have to buy any more dark oak for Melee for a while. This might be plenty for the rest of the season. So here we go with a whole lot of work ahead of us, and chop chop. Alright, and there it is, all done. The path all the way to Hobbit HQ has been cut out. And now all we've got to do really is kind of decorate it and go in there and actually make it look like an actual path. But at least we have the room. All the trees are gone. I've got a few things that I kind of want to touch up here and there. You know what? It'll work. Now that is going to bring us to the end of this episode, and what we're going to do is go ahead and run back to our base. We'll run through this little path that we've created here. Now in this episode, we've started 2 big projects, one being Hobbit H.Q, trying to get this path done so that we can relocate the portal, and 2 would be the Nether Hub, right? Because, you know, we've got to move the portal to continue working on the Nether Hub, and the Nether Hub itself is going to be quite a big project. So that's going to be a ton of content coming up, so I hope y'all really enjoy that. And by the way, I really like this little view of Hobbit HQ. Oh my goodness, look at this. He was following me. You think I can take him? Or am I going to destroy my path? Nah, we got him. We got him. Alright, so yeah, I appreciate all of y'all for being here. As always, you know, check down below in the description. I've got all of my social links, as well as the links to the WhimsyCraft Discord. That's where you can find me and the other Whimsies, and if you want to chat with us, that's normally probably the best place to get up with us, or in this comment section. Always check my comments on all my videos, so, you know, you leave a comment, and I'll get back to you there as well. But as always, I do appreciate you for watching. This is really a long path, you guys. Like, oh, by the way, look, death hole. Yeah, I almost fell on that like twice trying to build this thing. But you know what? I think it's going to be really cool once it's done. This is going to connect my base to Hobbit HQ, which also connects YMG technically to Hobbit HQ. And it also gives us an area and a solution kind of to connect to Mage as well, because I wanted to connect to Mage probably like at least 2 different places. And that gives us something where we can connect kind of off of this way, and then eventually connect over there as well. So that way we'll have a nice road system throughout the entire Whimsy server. So until next time, everyone, be good to yourself, be good to others, bye!